Good morning, welcome again. Yesterday's thought was that with God there is no mistake, and I would like to continue that thought because, as we said, that makes a marvelous and nasty difference on our side, nasty one on our side, marvelous on His side, because His world is without mistake, without errors. He can with absolute certainty say things, and we're not so. Our nasty reality is that we have a lot of uncertainty with us. In Job 40, he speaks to Job. Gird up your loins now like a man. I will demand of you and declare you unto me. So that is basically saying, well, let's have an argument, you and I. Job, let's talk. If you really believe that you have not made mistakes and I have, then let's talk about it. Let's hash it out. Will you also disannul my judgment? Will you condemn me that you may be righteous? You will judge that you are correct and I am wrong, says God to Job. And of course, we know Job's answer, who says, eventually says, I'll just put my hand on my mouth because I have spoken where I shouldn't have. In his trial, in his hardship, in the constant pestering of his friends, he made the mistake of speaking against God's correctness in the matter that he was going through, and started believing that he was right and God was wrong. So we have uncertainty in judgment on our part as human beings, all of us. Or at least we should have, actually. Let's talk about that for a moment. So when you're young, let's say you're a teenager or a young adult, you tend to be very sure about your opinions because the majority of your major life mistakes are yet before you. And so you see others and you have witnessed that others have made those mistakes. You start imagining this alternate reality, not the one that we live in, but the one you imagine, an alternate reality where you will never make mistakes yourself. And so, being faultless, having put yourself on that high perch, you now start judging everyone who is basically older than you, your parents, and you start looking down on their silly mistakes, your teachers, their foolishnesses, I don't know, your youth pastor, whoever is your boss, whatever, anything. Well, as a young adult, yeah, it's possible. So this is the place that we're talking about. Because that's not just teenagers, that's not just young adults. A lot of adults, a lot of older people have also not realized that they make plenty of mistakes in life because, I don't know, stubbornness or lack of humility, pride in their hearts. They do not recognize that they are people who make mistakes just like everyone else, and instead they just blame everyone else, and that's the end of that. So anyways, every one of us need to realize this, that we make mistakes. It's God alone who doesn't. And sometimes I have met believers who imagine that they are walking so closely with God that they never make a mistake. That's a tragically funny thing. But like what we would tell a teenager, what I would tell a teenager and a young adult is don't waste your time making the same mistakes that those people who love you already have made, but instead listen to them and learn from it. Take it to heart and examine the lessons that they say. Sure, they don't know. We don't know what your life will be, but we have learned many lessons that are yet before you, and you need to trial and error them out yet. And you don't have to go that way if you just listen and you examine and you apply however you feel, but you take to heart. And this takes humility. And this is for every one of us, not just the young people. It is for every one of us, because we need to learn about it. So Proverbs 1:8, of course, says, "My son, hear the instruction of your father, and forsake not the law of your mother." Why do you think it says that? It says, if someone has gone before you, and in general, just be learning and take to heart it says that not because those people are perfect, or if you're a young person, not because we are perfect, but we have faced more life than you, and those people maybe have faced more life than us, and we can learn. So God doesn't make mistakes. We all do. And the point here is, listen to those who love you, especially when they speak from the Word of God. Then pay special attention, and most of all, learn to listen to God in your life, because He don't make mistakes. God bless your day.